All right, here we go. 1v1 Arabia, Liereyy versus the Viper on Arabia, Franks v Goths. This is Killer Beat. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing this one live on Twitch, but the Twitch messaging is messed up today, so apologies to the Twitch viewers. But welcome, and let's see if we can have a good time watching a good game. So yeah, first thing off the bat, non-mirror civs, Franks v Goths. Goths are, I think, a little bit more versatile of a civ than Franks. I personally think that Franks is a little bit annoying. You can build some really nasty knights, but it's a little bit tricky to really catch your opponent off guard. So we'll see if Liereyy can maybe overcome a couple 100-point deficit in score and maybe a little less of a pliable civ versus the Viper. Right off the bat, we can see this is dry Arabia. Not a whole lot of good wood lines. Couple extra gold piles off to the left, and the main gold off to the left as well for Liereyy. Can probably wall this corridor. Can probably, maybe he can wall up the front a little, but this is a really, really open map with not very many good wood lines. This one over here is decent, but a little tricky to defend. You certainly can't wall it in too easily. This is going to be a tough map. I would say this is a really tough map to deal with for Liereyy. We'll see how he deals with it, but right off the bat, I'd say he's going to need maybe a little bit of misfortune from the Viper. Viper's map is also going to be very wood poor. It's dry Arabia after all. Sure, why not? Viper's going to have to take wood on this front wood line eventually. This side wood line, very, very thin, very puny, and it can be walked around. So he's going to have to wall it if he's going to actually use it. That's a really annoying wood line. But hey, it is what it is. Berries on the front for the Viper, very close to his deer patch, so he can build a mill and do double duty if he wants to. But these pro guys, they push deer from now on. Back in the day, you might see a player build a mill like here and use his villagers to pick up these deer, but almost always the pros prefer to push those deer toward the TC in the early game. So that will give Viper a little bit of food boost. Back on Lierey's side of the map, we do see a deer patch as well. Very similar distance, actually a double deer patch. Anyway, Viper's wide open, Lierey's wide open, 1v1 Arabia. We're going to have one heck of a game here, I think. This is going to be a game maybe decided by who can manage their early army better. You're really going to have to keep those units on the field. Can't waste a single unit in a game this open. This cast is just wrought with cliches. Early on, Viper's going to have 3 on wood, not thinking about early aggression. Lierey's going to have 4 on wood, not uncommon at all to drush into knights with Goths, or with Franks rather, so we'll see if he does that. Viper's build looks like he's going to go to Feudal more quickly. His gold location is actually pretty damn safe, even though his map here is really open. That back gold is relatively safe. I mean, that's about as safe as anything's going to be on a map this open. So he could certainly do whatever he wants to in the Feudal Age. He can certainly keep his options open. You can build some crossbows with Goths, right? That's not too crazy. You can build some knights with Goths if you have to. Not a very good option versus Franks, but you could do it if you had to, if you're out there early. Get to Imperial Age and build some husks. Maybe that's what we'll see. But why speculate? This one's going to go down as we watch it. Liereyy just scouting his side for now, probably for the moment, just trying to get his resources in, pushing in a deer or two, just getting himself rocking and rolling. Viper on the other side also just scouting his zone, and he's going to get a really good idea of what's going on all around the back corner of his map. He's probably looking for a good wood line. I mean, Jesus Louises, this is his best wood line, out on the front by almost an entire screen, and really not an area that he can protect at all. If there was a good wood line in the corner or something, man, maybe he could wall that in, but hey, it is what it is. Viper's going to send villagers forward. He's going to click up to Feudal, so will Liereyy. So Lierey's early vills on wood do not materialize into a drush. I think he is maybe, he's sending 3 vills over to gold for now. He's maybe just going to fight this one out in the Feudal Age. Both guys up on 21 vills. Franks v Goths, building some scouts as Franks is certainly a totally viable option. 3 vills on gold, though, from Liereyy probably means that he's not going to go straight into scouts. That would be rather surprising. Anyway, barracks coming down for both players. Viper gets his barracks up first. He is not queuing militia as we speak. The Viper is sending 2 vills to gold, though, and that could be telling. It could mean he's thinking men-at-arms, but this is a little bit late. No, he's going to start building the militia. Often you'll see those militia being built during the transition. Hey, but it is what it is. He's the Viper. I'm sure he's got a good plan. Okay, working our way through this game. Let's slow this baby down just a little bit. Couple militia rolling out for the red player, scouting forward. Viper finding his opponent has 3 vills on gold. He's probably wondering what the heck's going on. Liereyy on his side is going to add in double ranges. Okay, double ranges from the Franks player. Oh, there you go. Killer B said they're a one-dimensional civ and was immediately proven wrong. That's what we do this for. That's why we have a channel, to be proven wrong immediately. Anyway, for the moment, we'll work our way through this game. We've got 5 vills going over to gold. It's going to be double range archers. Eventually, we're going to see 6 or 7 or 8 vills on gold so that he can keep those 2 ranges going and work his way toward the gold he needs for Castle Age. Viper scouting it pretty early. That's going to really put a chink in the Viper's armor here. He's certainly not going to be able to go forward with men-at-arms and just ravage his opponent's base. There's going to be a lot of archers there. Men-at-arms not so good when your opponent has an opportunity to build up what's going to be probably a half dozen archers. Anyway, Viper and Liereyy just fighting their way around the map. Villager count is +1 for Liereyy. That's actually interesting. How did Liereyy get up by 1 vill? Lierey's up by 1 villager. He's got loom. Oh, Viper's getting wheelbarrow. Okay, never mind. Never you mind. Range is coming down from the Viper as we speak. We'll see what he decides to go forward with. For now, it's still just 2 vills on gold, so maybe a couple skirms to keep his opponent at bay. Why am I speculating so much today? Why am I speculating so much? Anyway, these are games from early January. If you guys are watching this as a recorded video, Viper and Liereyy playing this one-on-one. Lierey's playing like a beast as of late. I know I say that probably way too much, but Lierey's level of play has really, really gone up. Interestingly, Lierey's archers are going to walk past the Viper's army already with +1 damage on those. Viper's going to somehow sneak his men-at-arms right into the back of Lierey's eco, but some quick walling from Liereyy will keep him somewhat safe. These vills are maybe a little more difficult to wall, but you know what? Lierey's going to get the job done just in time. Gotta give him props for that. This vill, though, is caught out. He can... Oh, there's a hole in the wall. Okay. Viper will get in with 4 men-at-arms, and he's gonna... Oh, man, he's gonna do some real damage here. 1 vill going down. It looks like he's trapping several. Lierey's got to delete his own walls, but he's gonna lose another vill, isn't he? Liereyy losing 2 vills there to the men-at-arms. So the Viper's investment in men-at-arms absolutely pays off. I thought Liereyy was really going to neutralize that investment by just leaving some archers back at home, but he certainly is not. For his part, though, Liereyy did kill a couple vills on the other side. His archers are forward. We are seeing the Viper going with double-range skirms as we speak. Liereyy is +3 vills, but those are wheelbarrow vills. Those are villagers that basically the difference between having wheelbarrow and not having wheelbarrow. Anyway, these guys will micro it out for now. Obviously, skirmishers are probably going to win the day. No reinforcements terribly close by for the blue player, so he's eventually going to get dwindled down here by some skirms. Viper's going to have 1 man-at-arms coming forward. He's chasing some archers, and he sees that his opponent is fully committed to double-range archers. Liereyy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on gold, so he's probably not banking a lot of gold. Yeah, he's got 50 gold in the bank for now. Not a lot of food either. Viper's in a much better place, food and gold-wise. We'll see. We'll see if the Viper can defend himself and keep himself safe enough to go to the Castle Age. What does Liereyy know about the Viper's map? He knows about this horrible front wood line. He knows where the berries are, and he knows where that back gold is. He knows where all the important resources are, so good on you to Liereyy. Good scouting. Archers in this mass, you can see, are 2-shotting skirms, which is a bit of a problem for the Viper. He's going to add in more and more skirms. He's got +1 damage on those, but they're still going to go down really quick to archers. Viper's going to try to hold the line with some skirms. Getting padded archer armor, I think that's a fantastic upgrade. He'll have 4 skirms now, and he probably can hold the line versus this group of archers. Liereyy with +1/+1 seems to be investing quite a lot into his ranged units. He's going to have a skirm out, but it is mostly an archer build for Liereyy. Going to start building skirmishers from one range, archers from the other, so he can bank a little gold. I think that's going to be his plan. Viper on the other side is going double range skirms for the moment. He will still just have 2 vills on gold. Plenty of gold in the bank for the Viper. Viper might mix in an archer or 2 if he wants to. He's going to have enough gold to click up to castle, but for now, I think he's going to hold on to that gold. Okay, so for the moment, both players are kind of feeling each other out, so we'll speed this game up just a bit. Looks like the engagement on top of this hill is not going to go down. Lierey's going to retreat from this for now. Going to keep those valuable archer units away from all the skirms. Lierey's skirms, they're at a decent number. He can probably hold the Viper at bay in a straight-up skirmisher fight. Liereyy grabbing Town Watch at the moment. He is not anywhere close to clicking up, and neither is the Viper. So these two guys are basically, they're basically just feeling each other out. Liereyy will send his army around and up back to the north, see if he can find the Viper, and he might find him here on this stone pile and grab a couple vills. Meanwhile, the Viper is doing not very much on the front of Lierey's eco. He's kind of chilling on this hill. He's waiting for an engagement, but Lierey's got some pretty massive numbers at the bottom of that hill. I don't think the Viper has enough. Viper able to add in a couple of skirms on his own side, and he will deter this army from Liereyy. So this is mostly what I would think of as flirtation at this point. These guys are feeling each other out, 38 villagers each. They're going to have probably similar uptimes, and we'll see this game go into the Castle Age. We'll see whose Castle Age decision basically wins or loses them the game. One nice advantage for Liereyy here is that he can build those nice Frank Knights and just start raiding Viper's super open eco. If we look on Lierey's side, he's closed himself in a bit. Not completely, but he's eventually going to be able to close this flank. He has a wood line here that blocks a lot off. He's eventually going to make it so that knights can't run amok through his eco. I think the Viper's got a very, well, you know what? He's going to work on walling himself too. Still going to be open around this pond, still going to be open right up the gut, but an army doesn't want to run right up the gut usually. Viper's going to tower himself as well. Going heavily onto stone, so maybe going to defend himself with a couple of castles. A couple of castles from the Viper would be great. He could go into Huskarls if he wants to. They are a pretty nasty unit to take on, but we'll see. We'll wait and see how that one goes. Obviously, if Liereyy transitions into Knights, Huskarls, not as sexy of a unit. Anyway, both players going up to castle. Looks like they will be up at essentially the same time. A little bit of a skirmisher battle, a skirmish, if you will, going on. Nothing too crazy on that side. Viper trying to sneak a couple archers in here and there. But for now, we've just got small armies chasing each other around and getting nothing done. The Viper's got 2 towers up and 146 stone in the bank. So I don't know what his plan is. He's not very heavily onto gold, so he's not thinking about going into gold-heavy units just yet. Scale mail is on the way. Gold mining is on the way. But he's going to need a couple more vills over there, I would think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villagers on stone for the Viper. Cool, man. Cool. Viper's got 7 on stone, and here come those archers. They're going to walk around that pond and get into Viper's eco. The Viper has abandoned this woodline because it's so crappy, but he hasn't walled it. It's kind of a bummer for him. Just a piece of wall here would really help him out a lot. One piece of stone wall or palisade or something. But it looks like Liereyy will be able to get in. Viper's still holding the ground on top of that hill, keeping Liereyy honest. Alright, so these two armies are just roaming around. These two players are roaming around looking for each other right now. If we look at the Fog of War, Viper doesn't know Lierey's army is right here next to him. He might have seen it walk by. Yeah, it looks like he's already evacuated his gold. The Viper will do what? For the moment, he's starting to bank a lot of stone. He's got to be thinking about a defensive castle. Maybe up on this hill or something to guard one of his gold piles. But for now, he has no real answer to those archers in the back of his eco. His skirms are so far forward that he's kind of caught with his pants down right now. Unfortunately, that damn pond not being walled in really gave Liereyy an opportunity. Lierey's not going to stick around, though, which is kind of surprising to me. He's going to roam in and try to grab vills, I suppose. But he's idling like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 farms and several vills that were on gold. He's totally crippled the Viper's gold eco. Viper's gone elite skirm. Lierey's gone into those Frank Knights, and it's going to be GG to those skirms pretty damn quickly. Liereyy is going crossbowman, and he's starting to really take this game over. Really nice mixture of units from the blue player here. Liereyy able to build a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Crossbows, a couple knights, and a bunch of elite skirms. And the Viper really just building elite skirms so far. Had a great early men-at-arms bit of aggression. But he's in a bit of trouble now. Castle coming up for the Viper. Going to have to defend his eco the best he can. Should protect this wood line. Should protect that stone pile. It's also in series with a couple of towers. So he's going to be really difficult to raid. He'll drop a TC on the back to make his gold a little more safe. But Liereyy is coming forward with +2 defense knights with the extra 20 HP. And he'll have 5 or 6 of those running into Viper's eco. Viper's castle's on 81%. I expect it to go up, but it looks like he will lose a couple villagers here. Lierey's going to have to be a little cautious. Looks like he will actually run around for a moment and try to avoid the castle arrow fire. No reason to throw those knights away so early. This one might be trapped, but we'll see if he can get out. But for now, Liereyy with a really nice advantage in military. 26 military advantage. Absolutely a massive, massive advantage. Viper on his side is going to have a little bit more eco. He's going to be 8 villagers ahead of his opponent, but he's not really raid proof. All these farms are, yeah, granted there's TC arrow fire, but +2 knights are not going to care that much. I think Lierey's going to be pretty happy to idle this TC, or this TC. Maybe this TC is the better one. So I think Liereyy here is in the driver's seat. He's going to hold his own side with elite skirms and just kind of wait for a moment, let his knights roam around through the eco of the Viper, forging on the way. So now it will be +1, +2 knights with 120 HP roaming through Viper's economy. It's looking pretty good for Liereyy. Viper's castle is in a nice location to keep him safe. He's going to drop another TC and continue to boom up. But we'll see how he does against some knight raiding. Lierey's going to sneak a knight in here and kill a vill, or maybe even 2 before the Viper responds. Viper on the front, starting to send forward Huskarls. They are going to be great against elite skirms. Not in this case. That one's going to die. But not quite so good against knights. Let's see. For the moment, yeah, lots of raiding going on. Those knights just really aren't deterred that much by TC arrow fire. +2 defense knights. You don't want to run them into a castle, but if you can run them under this TC and idle all those vills, I think it's worth it. Viper is only... oh no, he's not even up. He's down by 4 vills now. The Viper is -4 vills, and he's going to have several idles over and over and over until he can deal with these knights. He's got a barracks back at home, but he hasn't built any spears at the moment. The knights are really rolling in way too fast now. He's really got to respond here quickly. Looks like the Viper is going to play defense with offense here. He's going to start sending those Huskarls forward and try to do a little raiding. The problem is, I don't think they can... nah, they can't stand toe-to-toe with a knight. 11 damage for a knight, only 2 defense against melee for Huskarls when they are not elite. It's certainly not going to cut the mustard. So for now, we'll see these guys working away at each other, but it just seems like Liereyy is going to squeeze the life out of the Viper here. Viper on 48 vills is continuously being annoyed and raided by knights. Lierey's doing a great job to pick and poke and not commit to too much damage on those knights. He knows his opponent doesn't have any counters yet. He hasn't seen any spears or any pikes or anything like that, so just keep running in, kill a few vills, wait till the TC's garrison and get out of dodge. He's absolutely going to he's going to make Viper have 20 idles, and he's just going to keep running in and killing vills. Maximum annoyance for minimum investment. That seems to be how you win in AOC. Couple of skirms for good measure up onto Viper's woodline. This seems like it's going from bad to worse. What recourse does the Viper have? Well, I heard a monastery come up. He can build a couple of monks to defend himself. He's still not going to go into counter units out of his barracks, not yet. He's going to have Huskarls pumping out one by one. And for now, that's going to be it. He's going to try to defend himself with TCs and with castles. Speaking of castles, not going to see another one anytime soon. Only 260 stone in the bank for Viper. Going to need a couple more minutes to mine a bit more. Liereyy on the other side, spending it as fast as he can get. It doesn't look like he's going up to Imp anytime soon. 25 military is a much smaller number than he had a minute ago, but there are quite a few knights out on the field for him. +1, +2 knights. He's doing a pretty good job to spread them through the eco of the Viper. Viper's going to have a monk or 2 out, but man, 1 or 2 monks right now is not quite enough. He needs to start to mass those up a little bit. Going to need to mass those up a little bit to deal with all these knights on the front from Liereyy. Liereyy happy to pick off Huskarls while he can. They are not a good unit to fight knights. They are really not a good unit. So the Franks player does eventually devolve into building straight up knights, but the amount of crossbows early on in the game did surprise me a little. The amount of crossbows and skirms was a little surprising to me, but it seems to absolutely have worked. Liereyy catching the Viper off guard a little bit. Okay, a couple monks will push this aggression away. For now, Liereyy seems a little skittish to go in there. The sound of a monk can be one of the most frightening things in AOC. Sometimes you can chase away 10 knights with one monk. In this case, the Viper's got 2 monks at home, but that's going to be enough to stop Liereyy from raiding him for now. Going to give the Viper an opportunity to get his villager count up a bit. Liereyy, for his own right, has 2 TCs at the moment. It looks like a 2 TC build to me. Is there a third one in this corner? Yeah, third one coming up in the corner. Interesting TC location because he's got these weird gold piles and this weird wood line over to the edge of the map. I like it. Viper will grab Anarchy. That's going to allow him to build Huskarls out of each and every barracks so he can start cranking out more barracks and cranking out more husks. I don't know if his plan is to go into any trash at all. Squire's on the way. It's just going to be a Huskarl build for the Viper by the looks of it. 73 villagers, about 73 vills almost for both players. And for now, they're just going to work their way through the Castle Age. Man, Liereyy here is really coming in with a huge group of knights. Viper with 3 monks, he's going to grab 1 conversion. And that looks like, it looks like he might have gotten 2. Maybe 2 conversions, maybe even 3, but does it really matter at this point? The Viper with just 5 units. He's got 5 converted knights. Let's just assume he's got 5 converted knights. Liereyy with 25 knights, but here come the pikes from Viper. Pikes and Huskarls from the Viper are going to counter Liereyy. Liereyy right now is unchecked. He could really do a lot more damage than he's doing, but he's playing this one a little bit cautiously. I think he knows that he's quite a bit ahead. You know, the scores here show them neck and neck, but he's 10 villagers ahead and he's 11 military ahead. Playing a little cautiously, going to add in a siege workshop on the front, going to add in a few monks of his own for good measure, and I suppose he's just waiting for the right fight. So we're going to speed this one up a wee bit. I think Liereyy could have run in 10 minutes ago with all of his knights and ended this game. You know, could have idled every single villager of the Viper. Well, not every single one. These ones would have been safe. But all these vills would have been idle. All those vills would have been idle. Several of them would have been dead. And I think that would have been worth it. I mean, it certainly seems to work in noob games that I play. But hey, you know, Lierey's playing it his way, and he's probably playing it the smart way. He's probably playing it smarter than I would. Mango on the front seems to be under some heat. That's going to go down, but the knights here will win the day. Couple pikes mixed in from the Viper. You know, he's getting good bang for his buck on pikes, but he just doesn't have enough to really kill these knights. Huskarls are just they're just not a good unit to take on these knights right now. The pikemen are a great choice, the pickmen, if you will. Another castle out on the front for the Viper, giving him another safe wood line. Liereyy clicking up to the Imperial Age. He's going to go men-at-arms. Interesting. Yeah, Franks do have a pretty good man-at-arms line as well. Viper on his side having quite a bit of gold in the bank. Going to drop a market, maybe balance out his eco. Needs to click up soon. If he knows his opponent's up, he's got to be clicking up himself rather soon. Going to be hard to stand toe-to-toe with Liereyy in the Imperial Age. Liereyy could go Cavalier and start adding in tons of man-at-arms to deal with all the pikes from the Viper. And that would be a pretty nasty combination. Pretty nasty combo. So for now, we continue to work our way through. We're going at, what are we going at? 75% speed, I suppose. See Imperial Age slowly coming in for Liereyy. Viper is going to get close to an engagement here. Lierey's going to be really skittish, though. I don't think he's going to want to take an engagement here just yet. I would think probably not. Viper going to see Lierey's initial long swordsman out. So Liereyy going to drop a few more barracks and build a couple more swords. Viper adding in more barracks as well. So we're going to see a straight-up militia spam war. But these knights need to stay on their feet. Lierey's got to be really careful to keep those alive. There is no reason to really take on that big group of pikes with these knights until Imperial Age comes in, until the upgrades come in. I just don't see any reason to do so. There's still a great raiding unit. He's not building too many more of them by the looks of it. But there's still going to be a great unit for the late game. Okay, anyway, Liereyy is starting to, he's starting to save up some food and gold. Not a whole lot of wood in the bank, doesn't really need it. He's going to be building straight up militia. Viper on the other side. He's still working his way up to Imperial. He's going to be 2 minutes behind Liereyy. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is, it can be an eternity in some games. In this case, it's going to be annoying. Viper's going to do some raiding with the pikes while he can. Lierey's just got a couple of barracks here on the front, building out long swords, upgrading to two-handed swordsmen. He's going to have 5 barracks total. Eventually, he can build enough of these units to really thwart Viper's concept here of going pikes. Liereyy, for now, is going to mass up those units on his side, playing this game really, really conservatively. Not willing to raid just yet. He's going to heal his knights up. You can hear all that healing going on. You can feel it, can't you? Those knights are going to roam around to the top side. Liereyy, for now, he knows about this gold and this stone on the top. He knows about this wood line on the top. He knows he can get into Viper's eco on that side. He doesn't know about the castle, but I don't know if it's going to change his mind. We'll see. This is really enough knights that you can probably get away with just running straight under that castle. No worries. Anyway, two-handed swordsman in on the way for Liereyy. He's going to go forward with those. The Viper, for now, is back at home with a ton of pikes. Chemistry on the way for Liereyy. Interesting. Keep an eye on that. Looks like for now, he is going to run right under the shadow of that castle and start raiding these units. Viper here on 100 vills is about to be at least 10 or 15 less. I mean, these villagers are caught out in no man's land. They're going to take so much damage on the way back to this castle. Viper's going to lose. He's still hemorrhaging vills, but it looks like at least 10. He's down to 90, 89, 88, 87. The pikes will come over. Liereyy will just run away to a different part of the eco. That's the really tough thing about knights, man. Knights are really they're a real pain in the ass. Once they're back into your eco like this, it's just going to be so hard to put all those fires out. Liereyy on the other side is raiding with two-handed swordsmen, and he's running right up the gut into Viper's eco. Viper has Huskarls, he has a couple of long swords, but mostly pikes back at home, and none of those units are really going to stand toe-to-toe with two-handed swordsmen. This is rough. Lierey's doing exactly what he should do. He's going to lure those pikes toward the two-handed swordsmen, chop them all to pieces, and then his knights can run roughshod through this entire eco. So Liereyy really kind of putting on a clinic here. I mean, granted, I like his civ in the Castle Age, being able to build knights. They do have a good infantry line. I guess I didn't properly highlight that as it was happening. Liereyy going all the way to champion, going to plate mail armor. Franks can definitely build those sweet, sweet infantry. But the Viper here just too open. Knight raiding and crossbowman raiding. Cut him to pieces. However, Lierey's going to take this fight straight up. He's going to lose probably all of his knights. I'm actually really surprised by that. Lierey's going to stand and fight, but he's not going to deliver here. He's not going to stand and deliver. Man, oh man, that's really interesting. Those knights didn't have to die like that, but they did. Liereyy taking that big fight on the front. We're hearing some gunpowder being mixed in, hand cannons on the way. Champions still roaming their way through. Champions for both players for now. A couple of bombard cannons as well for good measure, and it's a spam war, guys. It's a spam war. The problem is, Viper is down by 15 vills, and he's still having some trouble killing some of Lierey's units. Viper's got a lot of units back in his eco, but for some reason they are kind of idle for the moment. He's probably focused a lot more on the front of this build. Cannon still in the front alive. A couple of monks here from Liereyy getting out over their skis. He'll maybe grab a convert, but it looked like all 3 of them died there for nothing. Lierey's pulling back to a hill for now. Looks like he will turn and fight on top of that hill and try to keep this one in his favor. Viper's trying to make a big push. Military massively in the favor of the Viper right now. Massively in Viper's favor, building up that Goth spam. Very, very fast and cheap civ to build infantry from. Obviously, the Viper can spam those units all throughout Lierey's eco. He's actually going to start dropping barracks inside of Lierey's economy. So Liereyy had a bunch of knights, and he's in Viper's eco, and he's doing damage, and he turned and fought him here, and I don't think he needed to. I thought he could have just run right out of here if he wanted to, but he turned and fought with those knights and got chewed up, and the Goth spam just really overwhelmed him. I'm not saying he could have won with those knights. I don't know if he needed to commit them to that fight right there. He had a good 10 or 12 knights there that I thought he was going to keep rolling around the map and keep raiding with. But hey man, Goths in the Imperial Age are pretty nasty civ. Viper making the right decision to start spamming champions instead of Huskarls. Huskarls incredibly arrow resistant, but they certainly don't stand up well to champions or to knights. So good call from the Viper, transitioning over to champions. Not really exactly sure when that game turned around. It just felt like Liereyy was in charge right up until the end, right up until that fight, I guess, with the knights. But hey, it is what it is, guys. He had to try to get his rating in while he did. Looks like the first game of this set will go to the Viper, and I will call it good. GG. GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it.